so much. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for all that you do across the country as AmeriCorps Vista members. And thank you for taking time out to join us for our Social Media Monday web shop today, which is how to use LinkedIn for your service and your career. We have these calls every other month, and this topic is particularly useful for you all because you can learn how to network both while you're serving as a Vista and to prepare you for life after AmeriCorps. And we are excited because we have some guests that will be joining us today. We have a current Vista member and alum, as well as an expert from LinkedIn. So lots to look forward to. And Danielle, I'll turn it over to you. Danielle.
Yep.
Now.
All right. So let's go over the tips for participating. We invite you to participate in this session in any of the following ways. Submit your questions for our presenters at any time by using the Q&A feature in the bottom right of your screen, and we'll do our best to work those questions into the presentation or to address them during the formal Q&A, which will happen towards the end of the presentation. I would also like to point out that if you want to speak to everyone, please click on all participants and only use that private chat feature if you're having issues or problems and you want to chat to one of the participants privately. We ask that you share your tips, resources, and ideas with other attendees by using the chat feature, also found on the right-hand side of your screen. You may send a chat message privately to the host presenters, as I mentioned, but your message to all attendees will be visible to everyone. So please keep that in mind as you compose your messages. And of course, if the chat becomes too distracting, you can minimize that window pane by clicking on the small triangle to the left of the word chat. Right now, the phone lines are muted to keep the background noise to a minimum. Later on, we'll open up the phone lines to take more of your questions. We'll lay the phone number and the passcode in the bottom right corner of the screen throughout the presentation, so if at any time you get disconnected, you'll be able to call back in. If you do get disconnected from a WebEx, you can rejoin us with the link that was emailed to you. So I believe, if you look at the lower right screen, you will see that we are asking you a few questions, and these polls help us to know who is participating in this webinar and to find your needs. The webinar is being recorded and will be available on the Webinars for Vista page of the campus, along with other sessions we've presented. If we could back up a slide, please, and I'm going to go ahead and introduce the folks on the call. We have Liz Matthews, Outreach Specialist from the Corporation for National and Community Service, and joining her from the Corporation for National and Community Service is Tracy Johnson, Recruitment Marketing and Outreach. And then from Campaign Consultation, you have myself. I'm the Social Media Specialist with Campaign Consultation. Suzanne Knisner is our Project Specialist. She'll be working tech for you. And Robin Stegman is the Project Specialist who's going to be working the chat feature, and she'll be talking back and forth with you there. I'm going to today's agenda, and we're going to talk about LinkedIn, how to optimize your LinkedIn account, Vista case studies, link to the AmeriCorps Vista on LinkedIn, and questions and answers. And now I'm going to turn it over to Liz. She's going to answer that first question, why LinkedIn?
Thanks, Danielle. So obviously there are lots of social media tools out there today, and they all have to do with networking. But LinkedIn specifically is designed for professional purposes. So this can be very advantageous for you, especially when you reach out to former employers and potential employers. When you look for job opportunities, and of course you won't start your new fabulous job that you got through LinkedIn until after your term of service is over. And you can also join discussion groups that relate to national service as well as the mission of your organization. And then you can also create a presence on LinkedIn for your organization. So we're going to get into all of that shortly. Danielle, I'm going to turn it back over to you. Unmute again.
Hey there. So the poll is running on the right-hand side. We ask you to please take a moment. If we could back up just a little, please. I ask you to take a moment to fill it out. So we want to know if you have a LinkedIn account. We'd also like to know how you're using LinkedIn to job hunt, to network, to join group discussions on behalf of your organization. And of course, is we want to know how you're currently using your profile. So do you have a photo? Is there a summary? Are you listing your projects? Are you connecting to Vista? And do you have a personal URL? And currently a member of a LinkedIn group? And are you currently looking for a job? So that poll has a couple of more minutes to run. We ask you to take a moment to fill that out. And that'll help us guide us as we talk along. So the other thing that we wanted to show with you, we're going to get into how to maximize your profile and really get in depth on how to build out your profile. But before we get started, I just wanted to take us over to our LinkedIn page, the Vista AmeriCorps LinkedIn page, and show you a few features. So if Suzanne could give me rights, I'm going to share my desktop, and we'll go on over to that link. And there's a lag, you guys, when we do this, so stay with me. Let this happen for you. And I'm hoping everyone can see my desktop. Yes? All righty. Here we go. This is the AmeriCorps Vista LinkedIn page. And if you have not seen it before, ta-da! This is it. We're revealing it today. And you'll see right here, obviously we have the logo and a banner that was created specifically for the page. These are the recent updates. These from 5 days ago, term Vista Summer Associate, serve again as a Vista leader, which we hope many of you on this call, if you have not already done so, will do. And here's where you'll basically find many of the updates that are happening professionally for Vistas and Vista alumni on our group. Also, this real promotion right here for this particular workshop. So how fantastic is that? This information about AmeriCorps Vista, didn't mean to do that, about AmeriCorps Vista. The things that we're going to talk about a little bit later on are the featured groups. And Tracy's going to get into that. There's the AmeriCorps Vista member group and the AmeriCorps Vista alumni group. And one of the other things we want to point out, and again, Tracy's going to go through this a little bit deeper, and Liz is going to give you some background on that as well, is how you tie back to this page. You'll see there are 147 employees identified as being linked in to AmeriCorps Vista. And one of the things that we wanted to do with this particular workshop is make sure that when you're filling out your professional profile online, that you're able to have a hot link that brings you back to this page. Now, we hope that everybody knows what AmeriCorps Vista is and the wonderful, fantastic work that the Vista members and the alumni are doing with AmeriCorps Vista, but we also want them to get a nice, big, well breath of the work that's being done, and we're going to fill out this page to make sure that that happens for them. So I just wanted to point out a couple of other things before we move on. This is the home page, and then click here. Here's the service page. And information that you might want to share with other people on AmeriCorps Vista, and how easy it is. You can click the button and share with anyone. We've had impressions already, which is amazing. Serve as a Vista leader. We hope that you all will share that as well. Volunteer as a Vista Summer Associate. I talked about that a little bit in the recent updates, where you can find specific Summer Associate opportunities to become a Vista. And then, of course, a video on the side just promoting what it means to be Vista. Then the insights here, and you'll find this on almost every company page, and David's going to walk you through that on the insights section right here. There we go. It's also people who view AmeriCorps Vista have also viewed, obviously, YAY, the Corporation for National and Community Service, and the Peace Corps and AmeriCorps alums. And so you can click on other organizations that are, this is the umbrella that falls under here. So information, their products and services. And let me scroll down here. Yes, and then also their insights. And which I just wanted to touch on briefly, and I'm not sure if David wants to delve into that a little bit more, as you go down to see people who viewed the Corps for National Community Service also viewed AmeriCorps Vista. Yay! And the Peace Corps. David's going to take you through how you're going to tie through these pages. He has several suggestions from you. We're very excited that he's joined us from LinkedIn. And I am now going to give my right back to Suzanne. And let's see if we have some poll results.
We do. Thank you, Danielle. So I hope everybody's seeing the poll results. Um, so what do we have here? Looks like a number of you do have that you in the poll results, Danielle?
I am.
Okay, great. Um, so a number of you do have a LinkedIn account and that you're using them in your job search as well as to network, and that this presentation will be a number of ways to enhance your LinkedIn presentation. Thank you so much. I'll be opening the evaluation at the end of this presentation, so thanks for that.
So it looks like she said, that many of you have a page already. That means that the instructions that were sent to you ahead of time, you followed, so we thank you for that. I want to do just a little bit of some housekeeping here. This is not an introduction to LinkedIn in that we're not going to be providing you a lot of information how to set up your original account. So we sent a lot of information about that earlier, but Robin can provide you to a link to the AmeriCorps Vista Campus Social Media Monday archive page, and that page, if you have not been able to set up your profile prior to this web shop, you'll have step-by-step instructions to walk you through how to fill out your email, how to fill out an account and profile, and then what we're going to talk about today is how to maximize that profile. Once you have it already filled out, what do you do with it? Now you've got this LinkedIn page. What do you do? So let's go ahead and introduce you to David. Hi, David. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me on the call.
Thanks for being on the call. And so tell us a little bit about what you do at LinkedIn.
So everyone's David Oda. I'm currently a relationship manager at LinkedIn. And truth be told, this is actually my first day on the job. So if my manager is asking me what I've been doing today, I'll just
wait. First day on the job in this role, David.
In
right?
This role. Exactly.
Okay.
We did say we had an expert online.
Yeah, we did. You scared me for a minute. I'm like, who was that person we were talking to last week?
So yeah, I should have given you guys some context. So I've been at LinkedIn for 2 years, and this is my first day at my new role, which is a relationship manager. And what I do at LinkedIn now is I actually work with current clients that are using our corporate solutions to find talent, and I consult, I consult them in terms of best leveraging it for their efforts. So I had a number of different roles at LinkedIn, everything from recruiting to the front side of sales, to a little bit of management as well. So I'm grateful that AmeriCorps Vista can have me on the call today, and I look forward to going through this presentation here.
Well, Susanna is going to pass you rights, and you are going to be advancing the slides for a little bit until we have our demo. So go ahead and share your desktop and take it away. And you can share just up in the right-hand corner. You'll see that little that says share.
Right. Whoops. 1 second. See me scroll through these pages, correct? Right. So we can start here, and essentially in this presentation here, as said, this is with the assumption that everyone has a LinkedIn profile up and running, and I guess the purpose, what I want to achieve is have you guys be able to leave this presentation knowing what exactly you need to do to get you to the next level and how to best leverage LinkedIn. And what it means engaging with your audience, joining the right companies so that you can follow their updates, or even just beefing up your own profile so that you're able to be found more effectively. So where it may be, and I know everyone has a specific reason or specific, gain they'd like to achieve here, I want to be able to cover all that. And there's 4 different areas that I'm going to be going over through this presentation here. One is our company, and tell me a little bit more about what we do here at LinkedIn and our mission. Helping you guys connect, helping you find the next opportunity, and lastly, it's helping you be found more effectively as well. So there's a few different things that I'm going to cover, and the first thing is, just a little bit more about what we do here at LinkedIn. So As you can see here, our mission at LinkedIn is to connect the world's professionals to make more productive and successful. And the key word there is professionals. So really how we differentiate from a lot of other social media networks in that cover professionals, whether you have a blue-collar job or maybe you're an executive at a Fortune 100 company. It really doesn't matter, but we're trying to help you really find your dream job, and if you're at that dream job, helping you become most successful in that role as well. Which kind of into our current membership. So here at LinkedIn, or total in terms of our network, we actually have over 225 million members. And we're growing at our largest absolute rate as well, which is over 2 members per second, which really translates to about 1 million people every week. It gives you an idea of how broad our network is. And of course, we are worldwide as well. All LinkedIn has the largest affluent and influential demographic, any type of online representation medium. And a couple of noteworthy statistics here on the page is that 86% of the Fortune 100 companies use LinkedIn, and beyond that, they actually use our solutions as well to help hire. So if you're not on LinkedIn, you're missing the boat in terms of your next dream job, because a lot of the companies that are looking for talent are already on LinkedIn. So we differentiate from a lot of the other social media landscapes. I know that at times it can get confusing, even for myself, in terms of the overlap, because Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, we all tend to overlap, and you see presentations of ourselves in different mediums. But simply, LinkedIn, or in general, people want to separate their personal lives from their professional lives. And frame it like that, you can easily separate Facebook and LinkedIn. So we have a specific focus, and Facebook has a specific focus as well. And we're going to talk about Twitter as well. I consider Twitter as a way to publicly communicate whatever you want instantaneously, kind of like how that megaphone depicts that as well. So kind of an easy way to differentiate what you're using those different social media tools for in the future. We're going to talk about your profile and the value of that, and we're going to go into different components as well. In your LinkedIn profile, think of it as your digital resume uploaded to someone that wants to find you, or you want to present that to. And I don't know if any of you ever done it. I certainly have. But if you've Googled your name, I guess the one thing that is going to come down here are certain things that aren't necessarily in your control. So what you might see are maybe your Facebook page, maybe there's pictures of you if you look at the photos section, or there's other pieces of information about you, but maybe that you didn't maybe that you didn't have control over. So LinkedIn gives you the ability to have control over your professional identity, and that's a huge value add to everyone that's on work as well. You want to represent yourself as professionally as possible, especially to the online community. So we'll start that with LinkedIn. And here on the slide here, you can see a few components of of a LinkedIn profile that are essential, and we'll kind of go into the specifics in a little bit here. So building a profile. Not all of you have noticed, but when you run a search, or even if you look at a little snapshot of the people on LinkedIn, you'll see their profile picture, but you also see their headline to the right of them. And here are a few examples. And an insider tip here, you don't necessarily have to just list your title and at the company you're at. Like mine, for example, isn't relationship manager at LinkedIn. My specific headline is something that I want to captivate someone that's looking at. I want to have it as eye-catching and will catch you. So what it is instead is empowering search and staffing firms with the competitive advantage. So that's eye-catching to a lot of the clients that I'm going to be working with. That's basically not the same thing as just your job description or title. So that's something that I would highly advise everyone doing. So while as well, you have a summary section. I know a lot of you have already filled it out, but there's a lot of questions surrounding what exactly should you put in terms of the content of that summary. Sum it up, it's your elevator pitch, how you want to represent yourself, maybe discussing or share a little bit about your company, and maybe a personal note. So at LinkedIn, we have a 3-paragraph kind of format that we promote here, in which the first half or sentence or two discusses who you are, what role you're in currently. And the second paragraph discusses a little bit more about your company in general, what the mission is. And then lastly, a nice little personal touch to really help you stand out from other people that might be in your industry or in your same role as well. On this, actually customize your URL, your specific URL to get to your profile. And how you do this is below your picture on your LinkedIn profile. You can edit it. Mine is www.linkedin.com/David Oda. And you can do the same thing with this as well. And from there, what I would advise is to put that URL into things like your signature for your emails, or maybe even your website, or different areas where someone look at the email or this piece of content that you sent them or they just stumbled across you can easily drive them to your own LinkedIn profile. So again, you can have that consistent brand of who you are professionally. Continue on, and also, in addition to just experience, you can add specific volunteer and causes experience. And here's a few examples here, right? So SPCA, but overall, you can write the role that you had. You can write a description of it, and this is a good segue into how you can actually also add AmeriCorps Vista as your volunteer and causes experience section as well. And this is something we're going to be discussing after this slide.
If we could, David, if we could just park right here for a little bit. Liz is going to talk about how to connect to Vista, why that's important to do that via 2 avenues, correct, Liz? The experience and the volunteers and service section.
Yes, thanks. I'm noticing in the chat how many of you are about to end service, so I'm glad you're on the call, and hopefully this will help you in figuring out what you're going to do next. So I just wanted to say that we'd like to encourage you all to include your AmeriCorps Vista experience in several ways within your LinkedIn profile. So shortly we're going to walk through an example of how to add AmeriCorps Vista as a position both in the experience section and in the volunteer experiences and causes section that David just showed you a screenshot of. And that may seem like duplication, but it really will help you to take full advantage of all of your networks, the AmeriCorps Vista network, and also that of your sponsor organization. Just wanted to point that out, and then we go back to David.
Great, David, you're going to continue on with building your profile, and we're going to talk about building that profile, and then there'll be one more pause. Well, there'll be several pauses, but there'll be another pause where we're actually going to build a profile in real time with Tracy and Michelle. So go ahead with building your profile.
Thank you. Your profile. Another new segment that we have here at LinkedIn is adding specific skills that you have. So this is what we consider as mini recommendations. I don't know if you guys have ever asked for a recommendation, but it's kind of nerve-wracking on your end, right, asking that person, and also for the other person, they have to invest a certain amount of time. So there's a certain amount of friction involved in that. So that's why we added this new portion called skills, where other people in your network can endorse you for certain specific skills you have. So we consider these as mini recommendations. So the reason it's so powerful is just the reason why a recommendation is so powerful. It's not coming from yourself. It's coming from your network and your colleagues. And if your colleagues are endorsing you for a specific skill across the board, you're going to look very solid in that skill set. So I highly encourage everyone to not only put this in your profile, but also to be endorsing other colleagues that you've worked with or worked with in the past for certain skills they have. And ways into actual recommendations, which is obvious in terms of the value it provides, but in terms of an insider tip here, I would highly recommend for you to be asking for recommendations. So not necessarily all from one specific position, maybe one manager or from managers in general. You should be asking from a manager, maybe a colleague, maybe someone you led a volunteer experience with, maybe a past client. Have a varied recommendation, portfolio on your profile so that people view you as well-rounded as well.
And I can just interject here about recommendations. LinkedIn makes it really easy for you to print out a CVS of your profile and your resume. It's your online resume, and the recommendations print as well. So the more people that recommend you, the broader that profile is, the broader your resume is, and this accompanies your resume, and you can print it right from LinkedIn, which I think is a great feature.
Definitely. And also down the road as well, if you're doing a recommendation, you get a recommendation from someone that had a recent experience with. You get it down here on LinkedIn. Down the road, let's say you are applying for a new role, it makes it easy for them to review a new recommendation since they already done so, and they can use that as a reference point as well. To connect. So this is the second segment here. So now that you've really invested in your profile, a couple, recap points, right? Your LinkedIn profile is more than just a resume. It houses your entire professional identity and ecosystem. It's how you're representing yourself professionally to the world. To put it simply, do you want your next employer to be viewing your Facebook profile, or do you want them to be viewing your LinkedIn profile? And the answer is obvious. And then I'll be walking through building a profile.
So, Michelle, we're going to give you rights, and if you would share your desktop with us, and then pull up your LinkedIn profile, and then Tracy is going to walk us through real time via your page how to pull up and back to AmeriCorps Vista in the two examples that Liz gave us a little bit earlier. Take it away, Tracy and Michelle.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, it's fine, Michelle. So let's just briefly walk through what is and David was referring to about how it's best to have many connections the way that LinkedIn works as a social networking site. So let's click on your profile at the top.
Okay.
Okay, so already see that Michelle has been labeled as an all-star based on her profile strength. There's also some ways that we can better connect her to her through Vista. You didn't even know it, all-star.
No, didn't.
So let's click on Edit Your Profile.
Okay.
Okay, edit mode, and we can hone in on where you have put Vista under your background section. Yes, so right beside that, go ahead and click on Edit. So you're able to see how you put Vista into your profile. And one way that we are thinking that is the easiest for you to connect back with AmeriCorps Vista is to ensure under the company name that, right now you have Habitat for Humanity of Greater Newburgh. Do you see that, Michelle?
Right here, yes, I do.
Okay, so now if you wanted someone to know about AmeriCorps Vista, all they're going to be able to do is click on Habitat for Humanity, and then if they see AmeriCorps Vista under your profile, then they will learn about it in sort of a second way. But we want to make sure that they are able to also click and connect back to AmeriCorps Vista, particularly not just Habitat for Humanity. So it's great that you have Habitat in there because you make the connection both to your sponsor organization but also to AmeriCorps Vista. So let's go ahead and save that profile, and I'm going to show you how you can do something similar using the same position you held with Habitat for Humanity, but also making sure that AmeriCorps Vista is highlighted. So go and save that one.
Just leave it as?
Yep, and we're going
Okay.
to show how you can change this to make sure you have more connections. All right, go ahead and scroll back up to the top of your experiences section.
Okay.
And we want to go ahead and add a position.
All right.
All right, so go ahead and start typing in AmeriCorps Vista. It's going to already start to populate it for you.
Ooh, ah.
Okay, so let's click on that. Now, under title, and gets a VAD, which is a familiar term for everyone in the Vista world. So let's go ahead and put what the position title was that your sponsor organization gave you in your VAD.
Goodness, you're asking me to go back through my memory, but I
Use something up, Michelle.
update it later.
Even though it's only optional, I think putting in the location is helpful because sometimes, especially if you're still in your service year, you may want to connect with other Vistas who are in your same city or maybe even just in the same part of the country. So let's put that in there. Then go ahead and choose your time period.
Okay. This is a silly question, but the time period is the time that they served, correct?
That is correct. That is your service year. If you did multiple years in the same position, then you can go ahead and extend it for the 2-year period.
Cool that if you're working there, you just click, obviously, I'm still working here.
Exactly. And then in the description, you can pull out those key bullet points that are in your VAD, and also if there's some other things that may not specifically be in your VAD, but that you just want to highlight that you did. We won't stress your brain now, Michelle, to make you do that, but that's just an example. So go ahead and save this.
Sure. Well, I'll need to go back through some of the tips, too, and make sure that that's translated throughout my whole background profile.
But if you scroll, let me show you why it was important that we added in both your AmeriCorps Vista work and your Habitat for Humanity work. So now that you have added AmeriCorps Vista Site Coordinator at the top, you can click back to the AmeriCorps Vista page. Before, it was just clicking to the Habitat for Humanity, you would not see the connections that you have with other people who were in AmeriCorps Vista. You would just see Habitat for Humanity. And because LinkedIn is all about making those connections, one thing we discussed with David beforehand was, well, what do you do in this sort of situation that AmeriCorps Vistas are so special? They're working not only for AmeriCorps Vista, but they're working for nonprofit organizations or state organizations. As we were told, the more connections that you can make, the better, because you allow people to see all of the connections in all ways that you're working in various sectors and in the community. The same is true for adding AmeriCorps Vista under volunteering and causes. So if you go back to the top of your profile, scroll.
Okay.
Okay, now if you click Edit Profile again, hand column at the bottom where it says Volunteering and Causes. Yeah, go ahead and click there. And you do that same thing right here. So you can add AmeriCorps Vista because technically being an AmeriCorps Vista member is a volunteering sort of experience and cause, and we're all united in the idea that we are trying to eradicate poverty. And again, you can add in the role where you were located, but this key point underneath that is that you can add in specifically what cause is behind AmeriCorps Vista for those who are unfamiliar with what it is that we're doing.
Oh, cool. Okay.
As you can see, poverty alleviation. And again, your search range. So, you don't have to take the time to do it all right now, but just to show everyone where it is and how you can go back in and beef up your profile, not just under the experience itself as you would do on a traditional resume, but connecting this to volunteer experiences and causes, because a lot of organizations not only appreciate people who serve throughout the community, but it gives them an opportunity to see how, AmeriCorps Vista is not just a place to work. It's an organization that I could somehow contribute to, or maybe even do some in-kind donations, become a volunteer myself with this organization. So it's only the more you have on your own profile, as you make those connections, it allows others to see how they can be involved in the same way.
No, thank you. Great. So we hope that demonstration was good for everyone, and now you understand how to tie back in. And these instructions will also be available on the Social Media Monday course page with everything that Tracy just walked through. So that will be available for you. I know that some of you have been taking notes, but have no fear. We'll have that all written down for you and ready to go. So now we're going to grab those rights back from Michelle. We're going to turn it over to David. David's going to go ahead and zoom through a couple of more about how to find a job. I know many of you all in the chat are saying that you're about to become alum and transition out of your Vista service, so I'm sure you're going to be paying close attention to this section. It's on you, David.
Yeah, this segment here, we're going to go over how to find a job. And start off, this slide over here should look familiar to you. It's your home screen, and there's an actual jobs tab on LinkedIn black there. And just click on the Find Jobs, and that'll really just help start you find the job that you're looking for. So what I do in this process is actually walk you through searching for a job. Of course, the job that I'm going to be looking for isn't necessarily relevant for all of you, but you guys will get the idea, and then we can kind of answer some specific questions at the end as well. Finding a job, when you click that Find Job button, it'll launch you into our Jobs Network portal, and at the top there's going to be a Search for Jobs bar. And you can just type in a real type of role that you're looking for. And to make it easier, if you have a specific company in mind, you can type that in, or if you have a specific job title in mind, you can type in as well. But be cognizant of titles as well, because themselves a million different things, and companies call the same job a million different things as well. So it might not be the most effective way to go about searching for a job, because you might be missing some opportunities out there. A better way might be to search for a specific skill set that you're looking for in that role. So typing in those requirements into the search bar, and then search, then you'll be launched here into the search results page. For this example here, you see that there was an IT customer service role that was searched for in the Jobs Network, and there's 34 results currently. What that means is that 34 job postings on LinkedIn, that criteria that you search for. The things that you can do here, let's just say on this page you found something that looked appealing, and then you wanted to look more into it in terms of description. You click on something. So in this example here, it's this cloud and customer success manager, and pretty much everything that you need as a job seeker to help you decide whether or not you can apply, or that if you'd like to apply. So things like job description, things like the actual salary range for jobs that are similar to that as well. Even on the top right over here in this slide here, the social media aspect. We can apply now, yellow button. And the great thing about LinkedIn is that certain companies, they can enable it where if someone clicks apply now, all they need is their LinkedIn profile. They don't necessarily need their resume to be uploaded and submitted to them. They can just use the content of your LinkedIn profile as the digital form of a resume, which is another reason why you should definitely invest a lot in terms of crafting your LinkedIn profile as well. After that yellow button, you can see how many people are applying. In this case here is 138 people that applied. You can actually save the job, and also you can share the job as well. And that's really where the virality effect comes into play. Maybe this isn't a good fit for you. Maybe you know someone else in your network that it's a better fit for, so you can share it with them, and vice versa, someone can share that with you as well. That you can actually see who posted this job, usually a recruiter from that company. And this is something, in terms of an insider tip, you should take an extra step towards. Example of a job here, but you see who posted the job, and what I advise everyone to do is going to check out that recruiter's profile and seeing if there's any commonalities between you and that person. Instead of trying to make this a warm application as opposed to a cold application off the street, right? Anything that you can do. So, right, you can check out that person's experience. Maybe you two went to the same school. Maybe you guys are in the same area. That's where these insights on the right-hand side profile comes into play. In this example, commonalities between the person looking at this profile and Birdie in the location, the type of skills or expertise they have, and also they share a same group that they're a part of as well. Ultimately, you want to be able to bridge the gap between you and being able to really land that job. And beyond that, what I would recommend you to do is actually do research about the company as well. So, like we're going over in that segment there, embedding these links in a profile or maybe in a job description that launches you to a company page or an organization's page. Make it really easy for you to do research about a company and really the opportunities they provide as well. But in this example here, this is the company page for Atlas Cloud, and you could see things from recent updates. You see in the bottom in terms of what's going on with the company. They usually push updates in regards to job opportunities, or maybe updates in regards to the industry as well. Really significant as well is this careers tab, where the top arrow is indicating is where you can find actual opportunities within that company. In terms of finding a job, right? Don't just find jobs, find people and companies. This is how you can get your foot in the door easier and make it a warm opportunity as opposed to a cold application right off the street. You don't necessarily have to just apply for a job. Maybe you can connect with that recruiter that posted it, use that commonality that you have to get a warm intro, and find more about the opportunity and help you land a job, a much higher success rate. So for leverage is extremely key on the LinkedIn platform, just because we really do value the relationships that you're building along the way.
Thank you so much, David. We're going to turn it over to Robin, who is going to share with us how you're using LinkedIn. We want to hear from you. Liz has a reminder for everyone, however.
Just wanted to let folks know that this call goes until 4:30. We may be done before that, but now is the time. So we definitely want to make sure we hear from you. So please proceed.
Questions in the chat? Robin, do we have any questions in the chat we'd like to share at this time?
Yes, we do. So our first question comes from Courtney, and her question is, how do you determine what experience should go under causes versus under your experience section?
Should I take that question?
Sure.
Okay. So the question is, what should you put in your causes, volunteer causes and experiences, as opposed to your work experience on your LinkedIn profile? It's really up to you. And I know in this example here, you were urged to, or everyone was urged to put their AmeriCorps Vista experience in their job experience, but also in their volunteer and causes experience as well. So overall, it's really more of a preference. in terms of how you want to portray yourself. Some people like to just put it in their volunteer experiences, like certain nonprofit organizations that they've worked at, and just put their actual for-profit experience under experience. Ultimately, I really can't say or kind of provide you any insight into that. It's really up to your own preference.
Thank you. The next question is from Felicia. She says, I keep getting endorsements from people I've never met before. Should I accept them?
So LinkedIn endorsements, so again, since we just released this, we're encountering some minor issues, right, with people endorsing you that have not necessarily worked with you. Probably shouldn't be endorsing you in the first place. But in terms of accepting it, so if someone endorses you for a skill or attribute that is not already on your LinkedIn skills portion, then what you have to do is accept it first before it even gets on your page. Now, if it's already on your page and someone endorses you for that, it's going to go automatically on your page there. So I would say that you should accept it because these skills that you have for the most part, and you should be building that up, and your network should be kind of seeing that, and you should be making it visible for them as well. But on the flip side as well, here at LinkedIn, we are kind of working on in terms of how to reduce as much noise as possible. So that if you're being endorsed for a skill, that person actually does have some sort of working relationship with you or actually knows about that skill as well.
Thank you. Our next question is for Liz and Tracy. What if you want to show the connection between both your host site and a Vista? How can you highlight them both?
So that's a good question. This may be overkill, but I think it's the best way to connect with both networks, and that is to list, just like Tracy walked through Michelle's profile, the way she explained how to add AmeriCorps Vista, and then you can also add your organization as the company. So Michelle could also have a listing with Habitat, and then her position could be AmeriCorps Vista member, and that way you're utilizing, you're getting both of them. And that may be more important to you right now, and maybe over time you decide to delete one or the other based on your career path, but there's no harm, as David mentioned, in some duplication here.
The next question is from Heidi. LinkedIn know which term is more popular to use, non-dash profit, non-space profit, or non-profit together, and or do you have any similar keyword recommendations that would be relevant to us?
So which one is, which set of words to describe a nonprofit is, I guess, the hottest or most popular network? And, to truth be told, I don't know exactly, but it wouldn't hurt to look at it in multiple different ways. Because if you're looking at it from a recruiter perspective, or anyone that wants to find you, if they typed in nonprofit in a way that you haven't necessarily typed it in for your profile, they might be missing you. So I'm not asking you to type in nonprofit 20 different ways on your profile, but it doesn't hurt to differentiate it here and there. If you put like NPO or nonprofit, but then, I mean, LinkedIn and the search algorithms that we have here, we make it really easy for someone to type in nonprofit this way or that, and still pull in everyone that's within the nonprofit world. That's a reason why we have things like filters for recruiters, where they can just click on search trees that these people have been a part of, and nonprofit is one of them. And as you're affiliated with that, you'll be found. So I worry about it too much, but it doesn't hurt to put it in a couple different ways.
Thank you, David. So, David, Suzanne's going to hold on to rights, and we're going to go through join LinkedIn groups. We're going to zoom through these next 7 slides rather quickly, and we're going to turn it over to Tracy, who's going to talk us through how to join the AmeriCorps Vista member and alumni group. So go ahead, David, join LinkedIn groups. Should we know?
Great. So LinkedIn groups, this is really a part, your opportunity to to the LinkedIn community, whether it's in your industry or a specific interest that you have, right? This allows you to expand your network with people that have the same commonality as you. So you can learn about specific topics, and you can also showcase your expertise in a specific industry. In terms of a LinkedIn group here, you can easily search for it as you can search for anything as you want. So you can type in AmeriCorps Vista if you wanted to, and there's actually a number of different AmeriCorps LinkedIn groups on there right now. So that's a good way for you to kind of jump right into something that I know you all should be joining right now. This is this slide here. This is what it looks like when you're in a LinkedIn group. So there are things on the left-hand side. You see there are discussions, maybe questions that maybe a member has. But on the right side as well, you can see the latest updates that are happening with the groups. So, right, you can see things like comments and latest updates, like I said before. And then going past this one, right, you can see specific jobs that people post just for this group, just for the people that are within this group. So this is another great area you can discover your next job. Example is if you went into the AmeriCorps LinkedIn group and you looked in the jobs section, all those jobs that are posted are for people within that group.
So I just want to interject and ask a question here. So in addition to the company page that you can go to find a job, within groups, there may be tabs where you can find jobs. Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
Oh, a feature. I did not know that. I learned something new today.
Yeah, and there's also job discussions that are happening as well. So it's very interactive and get very viral very quickly as well. If you're having trouble finding or I guess which groups you should be joining, there's a segment within the groups function where it'll suggest type of groups that you might join dependent on what kind of content you have on your profile. So that's a good launching point in terms of jumping into groups that would interest you. And again, if you wanted to start your own group, you can easily do so as well within that group's tab function. Apple, go ahead.
Yeah, cool. What I'd like to do now is turn this over to Tracy and give Tracy the opportunity to walk us through this. We are going to share our desktops. I think I'm probably the one that's set up to. Right, Tracy?
Yeah. No, fine. We can just let Suzanne go ahead and continue to drive through this, just so I can make sure that we leave time at the end for questions if people want to dig in deeper. But I just want to let you know that we do have two groups established right now for AmeriCorps Vista. We have the Vista members group, and then if we go to the next slide, you'll see that we have the alumni group. Both of these were set up because we realized the needs for both individuals may be different, and we wanted to give you all a space to network and also for Liz and I to continue to share things that we know about that may be helpful to you. So, for example, Liz is always getting contacts from other organizations, especially in the federal government, who are saying, hey, do you have anybody who is eligible for non-competitive eligibility in hiring? And she says, sure. So she's always thinking about ways to give this information out to people in the broadest spectrum as possible. You may be seeing this on our discussion boards in the campus, but this alumni group is going to be another place for us to post those job opportunities. Another thing is what David mentioned. So if there are jobs that you will know about as you're moving on, out of your service, that there's going to be an opening, you want to help to spread the word about that, or if there is something that you just know about 5 years down the road with your company and you want to make sure that Vistas, who are experienced in doing whatever it is that the job is expecting of the candidate, feel free to share information there. Or if there's something that you want Liz and I to help provide you throughout your service, whether it's another Social Media Monday web shop, topic idea that you want to know more about, or you need help with something as it relates to alumni relations, these are things that you can do throughout your service and after service on our groups page, and we're always looking to see what conversation threads are being discussed. And if you're like me, I like to go through people's profiles just to see what groups they're in. this is my profile where you can see that I am a part of both of those groups. But it's just a way for you to also kind of find out about other groups that maybe would be of interest to you. So sometimes those second-party connections that you can make with your peers who are part of the AmeriCorps Vista group or who are the AmeriCorps Vista network can help you learn about something new that you can participate in and can help you with your service too.
Thank you, Tracy. Now Suzanne's going to give rights back to David, who is going to walk us through how to follow companies, and then we're going to have a Vista case study and tell you exactly how to do that in real time.
Thank you. Following companies, I think, is extremely crucial on the LinkedIn network. It allows you, like this sentence says, to put yourself on the company's radar. It's essentially you putting your hand up saying, hey, I'm interested in what's going on in your world in terms of the company. Any types of updates, any type of job opportunities, any significant changes that are happening with your company. I want to hear more about that. And it's also, on the flip side, a way for the company to understand who's interested in them. So they can see who's following their company, and they can specifically target certain updates for the people that are following their company. Maybe see that you have some type of skills or experience. Maybe they only push that job out when they post it to certain people that are following. That could be you. So I highly encourage you to follow companies that you're interested in, because it increases your chances of getting that job with them, but also understanding in terms of the industry insights and what's going on. So once you're on a company page, and this is an example, Expedia, you type in the company name in the search bar, and then you can click on that company, and this launches you into the company page. You can easily follow it with that yellow button there. And then as you can see, Expedia has over 42,000 followers. And under that, you can see the types of career opportunities they have as well. So it all provides you great insight in terms of the company, but also the culture in terms of working for Expedia as well. Right on, it'll indicate that you are following them. And once you follow Expedia, let's say, you'll start receiving updates on your home page about that company. So you can see here with this orange arrow, Expedia puts this update about a networking event that they're having. So the example of something that's put to you that you would normally have probably overlooked or not even known in the first place if you didn't follow the company. And with that, the Vista case study.
Eleanor, how are you?
I'm good.
Great. So David is going to take a look at your LinkedIn page and then just some examples of some companies that you want to follow as an AmeriCorps Vista.
Okay.
Dave, do you have her page pulled up, or would you like me to pull it up?
Yeah, and go ahead and pull it up here.
Okay.
And if you remind folks of where you're serving, what you're doing.
I am with a program called the Virginia Wounded Warrior Program, and it's located in Richmond, Virginia. Well, I'm located, it's all over the state. There's the state is broken down into 5 different regions. I'm in Region 4.
Okay, great. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much for joining us, Eleanor. So the first thing I'm going to do is do a search for you. Might spell your name correctly.
Yeah, it's a different spelling.
There you go. So, David, taking a look at her page, what organizations could you recommend that she follow?
Yeah, question. So if we scroll down and see the types, really what's already on there, and obviously your AmeriCorps Vista, so or the Virginia Wounded Warrior Program. So a good way to find out what other companies you might follow is clicking that link there. would launch you to that program's page.
I have a page.
Oh. Well, in this case, since there isn't a page, it'll show other people that are in affiliated with that organization. So, in this particular case, you can look at other people's profiles, and these probably are people that look familiar to you, right?
Yeah, I don't think there's too many employees that have a LinkedIn page, actually.
That makes it easier. So you can either go into their profile and look at the specific organizations they follow, or if we want back, just look at Linda's case here. You can see, this, if you scroll down, organization that she's been a part of, or you're going further to the bottom of the page. Go a little bit more.
Like groups, how far up am I going?
Organizations.
There we go.
Right there. You can see all the different organizations that she's following, she's a part of right now. So in terms of, who to follow and who to get insights from, right, this could be a good idea just because this is a colleague of yours, and there's a good chance that you guys have similar interests. But if we go back to your page, Eleanor.
I will get back there. I'll click on Eleanor.
Yeah, you can scroll down all the way as well.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and all the way down. Yeah, so you can see the different groups that you're following. You're following certain industries in terms of news, and also these companies as well. So, ultimately, if you're having trouble in terms of just specifically which companies to find, it makes it easy for you to stumble across other similar companies as well. So, an example is, if you click on any of these companies down here below, just as an example, Honest Tea. I wanted to find similar companies to Honest Tea, and scroll down to the bottom of this page here, and see what at least bottom right says people also viewed. So these are similar types of companies to Honest Tea. So that's an easy way for you to kind of, find similar companies that you want to follow as well.
Great. Tracy, you had an example of, I'm going to stop sharing desktop, give rights back to Suzanne, but I remember Tracy saying that there was maybe another organization that she should be following that was more in line with veterans, I believed.
If you're working with wounded warriors or military families, there's joining forces. There, it's always great to follow the Department of Veterans Affairs, because these are how you can stay in touch with whatever the latest initiatives are, but also Got Your Six. These are organizations that have programs that are happening all the time and are always trying to, anyways, give away money to people who are working with veteran programs or initiatives, so you can stay on top of what's the greatest resource or bang for your buck and putting your energy towards something.
Tracy? So Suzanne has rights right now, and David's going to talk about sharing insights, and we want to get through that. We'll have some for you later on, and then we're going to open up the phone line, so we hope that you guys can stay with us through the 4:30 hour, and we will get to your questions in just a minute. But right now, David's going to go through some insights.
So again, LinkedIn is obviously a social media platform, and really allow you to share insights with your network. Because in this professional geared platform, you want to portray yourself professionally, but also as a thought leader for whatever industry that you're a part of. And we really make it easy for you to do so. And a lot of it comes down to this homepage on LinkedIn, looking at right now, and insights are being pushed to you, assuming that you're following companies and you have a network as well, but you can easily push it out to your network, in addition to that. So things like, news LinkedIn or LinkedIn Today, if you're looking specific pieces of content or articles, you can share that with your network. And you can either share that to everyone in your network, or you can post it out to specific groups, maybe the AmeriCorps Vista group that you're part of, or maybe individuals as well. That's to really kind of propel yourself and be that thought leader or LinkedIn footprint. So to be found on LinkedIn, really it's a matter of maximizing areas of where your professional brand can shine. Again, this is all consistency well. It's like how if you were to get a URL link to your LinkedIn profile and you put that in your signature or in your company website or wherever it may be, people can click and be launched to your professional profile, which is your consistent professional brand. Overall, what I did here is help LinkedIn and help you to be able to find people and find the next opportunity, but also find you as well.
Thank you. So now we'll move on to some tips. Take it away.
Yeah, so David presented a lot of great information, and if you're like me, you say, okay, so how do I start applying this to my profile or whatever it is that I'm trying to achieve? So I just tried to give you 5 things that you could do today, really simple things, but could have a great impact based on David's advice. The first is we all know that having a photo on your profile is a good thing. So you should make sure that you have one, but you have to practice some selfie control, what I'm calling it, and that's the fact that it's great to take those photos of yourself in various situations throughout the day, but as David mentioned, LinkedIn is about being professional, and so you want to give that first impression to potential recruits who might be going through your profile or people you're going to need to network with who are at other organizations whose resources you may be wanting to tap into. Have that nice business headshot that lets know that you are serious, you're very business-minded, and you want to be successful in whatever task that you're doing, whether it's now or in the future. Second thing is that it really spotlighted the fact that you want to have a great line. This is just like news story. It's the thing that's going to get someone's attention, and all the voices that are on LinkedIn right now. What about you? Can you put in a catchy phrase that lets people know what it is that you're working on, and how you're an expert in showcasing what it is that you are doing that is making a difference in your communities that you're helping out. The next thing is when you're being Googled or searched on the internet, you do want to have that self-control. And customizing your URL will allow you to at least make sure that your LinkedIn profile, the professional self that you want to present, is at the top of that search link. And that's something very simple that you can do. If you have a common name like me, Tracy Johnson, you can still do simple things like maybe doing an underscore or something that, again, will lead to you, but is easy to give to someone else. How many times are you out about in the community, you want to connect with someone, you want to give them more information about the work that you're doing and the projects that you're working on? If you're able to give them a customized URL, linkedin.com/Tracy Johnson or T_Johnson, it can make them quickly go back to you as something that can stick in their head, versus if you don't have a customized one, then you have to remember all of these letters and numbers, and that's just not as effective, and you don't want to put that in your email signature either. The next thing is the fact that you're serving. I mean, service is such a big deal in communities and corporations right now. People want to know how you're serving, how they can be involved, how they can help you in your service, but they're not going to know about it unless you are touting it in your profile. And that's why we said, we want you to connect to AmeriCorps Vista as well as to the organization that you're working with. That's both in your experience section and in the volunteering and causes section. And the thing is, just go ahead and try to make some connections, whether it's just clicking through AmeriCorps Vista and seeing who else is AmeriCorps Vista in your community that you might want to go ahead and connect to them, or joining a group that can help you out in some act of your service, or even looking into LinkedIn Today, who can give you help and assistance knowing who are some of those influential leaders who are talking about issues that are relevant to you and what you're trying to do.
Great. Thank you, Tracy. So we are going to open the phone lines now. Go ahead and turn this over to Suzanne.
Great. Thank you, Danielle. Catherine, if you could please give instructions for dialing in, and after you give instructions, we'll wait a few minutes to get those questions, and I'm sure that Robin will be able to help us with that. Okay.
If you wish your question by phone, you may press star 1. Please only record your name. To withdraw your question, you may press star 2. So again, to ask your question by phone, please press star 1. And 1 moment for the first question.
While we're waiting for that question, I'll take a couple of questions that people have submitted into the Q&A. The first is from Christine. Do you have any recommendations about what I should be sure to include in the summary?
Take that. In terms of summary, and I briefly went over this, really an opportunity for you to, I guess, say your elevator pitch, whatever that may be. And here at LinkedIn, we've kind of adopted a 3-paragraph format. The first paragraph being, a little bit more about what you do and where you're at. The second paragraph being what organization you're a part of or what company. And the last one, a personal touch, maybe saying that, you're really interested in, biking on the weekends, or you're interested in volunteering in this or that organization or that cause. Ultimately, I'd want to make it a page-long summary, but you do want to fully kind of provide some color in terms of who you are.
David, Catherine, do we have any questions on the line?
And our first one is coming from Jacob Thomas. Your line is open.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. So my question is just, I'm, in charge of setting up volunteer recruitment and things of that nature. I was wondering if there's any way that LinkedIn can be used to try to recruit volunteers within a community, and so, what would that look like?
Yeah, that's a good question. There's a number of different ways that you can utilize LinkedIn to recruit for your specific organization or project that you may have. First and foremost is looking through your network. I imagine that a lot of people that are in your LinkedIn network be good opportunities or good prospects or candidates for that project or organization. But beyond that is really doing things like pushing out updates, like I was saying, giving to the community. So on your LinkedIn homepage, you can write up an update saying, hey, I'm looking for rock stars for my next project or for this organization. Let me know if you're interested. And that update can be pushed out to every single person in your network on their homepage. In addition to that, you can really get into LinkedIn groups. So if there's specific organizations that would probably have some good people for the organization, then what you can do is join it. Maybe America or Vista, you join that group, and maybe let's say there's 100 people in that group. You can get that in discussion, or better yet, in the jobs portion of the group as well. So really, a couple of free things that you can do on LinkedIn. Of course, there's some paid ways you can do by posting jobs through our site as well. But ultimately, I think just with craftiness and being proactive and trying to find people, you can definitely find qualified talent for the opportunities you're trying to provide.
Thank you. Catherine, do we have any other questions?
Yes. The next one is coming from Janet. Your line is open.
David, this is for you. You were discussing the various ways we could access professional positions that are open. Is that the regular LinkedIn account, or is that strictly through the premium LinkedIn services that are paid?
It's through the free side of LinkedIn. That's a good question.
Thank you.
So, there's actually a feature of LinkedIn that's called Jobs You May Be Interested In.
Mm-hmm.
And that's on your homepage, every single person's homepage. It's on the right-hand side. You might have to scroll down a little bit. But what you'll see in that module are a few different jobs that LinkedIn recommends are a good fit for you. And it takes the information from your profile, and kind of suggests it. It's a good starting point in terms of finding opportunities, and that's really a great way that we push out jobs to people that are gainfully employed that aren't necessarily looking for opportunities as well. So it's a huge value add for that organization. But yeah, for opportunities, you can find it in that module there, or like I said before, if you click on that Find Jobs tab and search for the certain job you're looking for, whether it's at a certain company or specific skill set or specific job title, you'll pull up every single job opportunity that's out there. It's no different than if someone else was paying X amount of money for this premium access. The both of you would be seeing the same exact job listings.
What are the premium services available through LinkedIn?
Good question. So, I mean, there's a whole suite of different solutions here, but really in a nutshell, what our solutions do, or the premium subscriptions do, it allows for members to increase their networking capability. So things like increasing the visibility that they have into our network, the things like being able to message people directly that aren't necessarily connected with them, things of that nature. We do also have a job seekers premium subscription, and what that allows that person to do is have this briefcase badge on their profile indicating that they're actively open to opportunities. And also, in addition to that, if that job seeker were to apply through LinkedIn, that person's resume will be spotlighted. That person's profile will be spotlighted to that recruiter, kind of putting your profile on top of the stack as well. I mean, I think that there's a lot that you can do without having to really pay money for like a job seeker's badge or a premium subscription. Ones that I listed before.
Great. Thank you, David. We want to make sure we get as many questions as we can. Catherine, do we have any more?
We have 2 more questions in queue. Brian, your line is open.
For the webinar, this is good information. I know that with service, I've been open to like a whole different genre of work than I used to do. Like I'm used to looking at health and massage stuff. If I'm not sure what direction I'm going, because I might be looking for my AmeriCorps for more service mentor, that I've done with my service. I would go about utilizing LinkedIn. I'm looking at a whole different field than I'm used to looking for jobs in.
Good question. And I know it's tough. I mean, if you're looking for a new job opportunity that's not necessarily in line with what you're doing or what you've done in the past, it'd be challenging. But I think on LinkedIn, there's really a number of things that you can do. One is following key companies. I'm sure there are specific companies that you would like to work for. And as I said before, if you follow them, then every single update that they push out, you'll be notified. And do have a jobs portal as well where you can look at different opportunities they have. Another way to do that is just tapping into your LinkedIn network and leveraging it. So if you know someone that's at a company that is a role that you'd be interested in as well, you can look at that person's profile or reach out to them and ask them about that opportunity, see if it's a good fit for you. There's really ways that you can explore or even stumble across the next opportunity you have, and being just joining like AmeriCorps Vista groups, or the goal is shown to us as well. And that there's that job discussion panel as well, and you can kind of openly discuss what type of opportunities other people in the same position are kind of looking to do as well.
Thank you, David. We want to make sure we get that last question on the line.
Catherine is open.
So my question was basically when a company is searching for an employee through LinkedIn, I mean, I'm sure that they go through some sort of search engine or something where they type in keywords to see, for profiles to pop up with those keywords. And I was just wondering, where is it on the profile? Can you enter like those keywords so that when they do search for people, you would pop up in their search engine? Like, is it just the whole profile, or is there like specific area in the profile that you can specific?
Yeah, that's a good question. And answer is anywhere. Anywhere you have a specific, word or skill or anything like that, give solutions or provide solutions to companies. Let's give an example here, like Google or something like that. If they want to search for someone, that has a core Vista experience and type that in, if you have that word or in your profile, then they're going to pull you up. It doesn't necessarily matter where it's at, as long as it's in your profile. And of course, recruiters are very savvy in terms of making sure they're looking at the right people. Just as example is if they're looking for a Java engineer or web developer, they don't want to pull up someone that worked at a coffee Java house, right? So there's ways that they can be more specific and find talent that they're looking for. But overall, you don't have to be too worried about putting words in certain areas to make it more searchable.
Okay.
Questions for phone at this time?
Great, so much. I'm going to pass this on to Robin, who's going to ask a question from the chat, and then we're going to wrap up our presentation.
Great. I'm going to ask one of the questions from the Q&A, which is, after service, should I post my NCE on my LinkedIn page? If so, where?
Go ahead and put it in if you're putting your experience as a Vista member under the experience section, go ahead and in the description section you can say a line that says, I have non-competitive eligibility status, and that way if somebody were to do a search for NCE, they would be able to find you. But I think within the description it probably is the place that makes the most sense. Would anything else to add to that, David?
No, totally agree. Put it as much as possible or wherever it's applicable.
I have one more question before we wrap up. And so this question is, what should be some of the factors you consider when deciding if you should follow someone or actually invite them to join your network?
Really, it comes down to your personal preference. There's people, recruiters that I've worked with that just like to connect and work with anyone and everyone, and they'll boast that, right? They'll even put in their headline, I have 5,000 connections on LinkedIn, something like that. And other people, they're on the other side of the spectrum that only want to connect to people that they've actually worked with or know personally. And I guess our job here is to really find what they can find the most use out of LinkedIn. So for me personally, I don't necessarily connect with people I absolutely don't know, maybe on the other side of the earth, and I don't know any event we've gone together, or I don't know them at all. I probably won't connect with them. But that's not saying that an event with someone, I only met with them a brief second, and they send me a request as well, I'm definitely going to accept that. So it's really up to your own discretion. But again, every person that you connect with, you are expanding your visibility or your network into LinkedIn.
Great, thank you. So we're going to wrap it up, but if you still have questions or want to explore more information about LinkedIn, we are going to have a tweet chat after this, so make sure to join at VistaBuzz for the tweet chat. The hashtag is right there, which is VLinked, and we'll be there to answer your questions that you have and continue the conversation on how to best use LinkedIn as a Vista. I'm going to, at this point, turn it over to Liz.
Well, thanks so much, Robin. Okay, this is the part I just have to do every time, and that's to have you all keep in mind the Hatch Act. This is particularly important with LinkedIn. As you all may recall from PSO, the Hatch Act has to do with do's and don'ts in terms of political activity while you are serving as a Vista. So if you need a refresher on that, you can Google the handbook on the Vista Canvas, and it will spell out specifically what can and cannot do. But for the example of LinkedIn, if you have worked on a political campaign prior to your Vista Vista service, by all means include it under your experience or in the volunteer experience and causes section. However, if you are doing any campaigning or political work now, and of course that would be on your own time and as an individual with any association to Vista, it would be best to wait until after your service term is complete to reflect that in your profile, because we want you to have a complete profile of your experiences, but you can be terminated early for violating the Hatch Act. So this is serious stuff, and we want you to be your true self as reflected in LinkedIn, but when it comes to political activity, it may be best just to wait until after your Vista service term to add anything that you've done in terms of political campaigns during your service year. And then the others, be tasteful and appropriate. Again, this is all about being professional, so I think you guys have that. I don't think we need to go into detail on those. Danielle, do you want to talk about the course page?
Absolutely. So for those of you who want to learn more about our offerings in Social Media Monday, if you would go ahead and visit the Social Media Monday course page. There are archives of many of the workshops that we've done in the past, and this will be uploaded in a couple of weeks for your on-demand viewing afterwards. In addition, we want to share with you the links that we talked about in the workshop. Many of them were in the chat. And I'd also like to draw your attention to the fact that the evaluation is open right now, so we're hoping that you'll take a minute to do that. And if we go ahead and then talk about the next opportunity for them, Liz.
Absolutely. So the next webinar coming up is on sustaining volunteer involvement. Now that you've got them, what comes next? So that's on June the 12th at 2 p.m. And then our next Social Media Monday web shop is on August the 5th. We do this every other month, the first Monday of the month. And it's on Google+. So how to hang out in the right circles. So there's a link there to register for that if you're interested in joining us for Google+. So I just want to thank David Oda from LinkedIn. Thank you for all of your tips and helping us navigate through LinkedIn. And I want to thank Eleanor Wayne-Scott for being our current member and our guinea pig here, and to Michelle as well, our Vista alum. So thanks everybody for all your contributions, and we will see you online.